And it is Will Walker coming up on the stage now with Hall Venture Partners.
Well, let's go as fast as we can. You see my shirt here. I'm wearing a Vanderhall shirt. I will put a disclosure in there real quick that Jimmy has been to our 200-acre campus in Utah. He's driven one of these cars and enjoyed them, and seen our large campus where we've turned out over 30 private and public exits here in what I call tangible, patented, in revenue technology. So if operating companies and revenue driven in commercialization is your cup of tea, I think you've probably found nirvana here with Hall Venture Partners, Hall Family Office, which is located in Provo, Utah. So I'm going to highlight just Vanderhall here, and we're going to start the slides here.
I'm running the deck for you. I almost forgot, Will, but I got you.
No, I know. Wake up there. You know, don't shoot the piano player, but you know, come on. I'm teasing him. Anyway, this is our new Brawley, our four-wheel drive EV, 400 horsepower all-wheel Brawley, which we have over 2,000, actually over almost 3,000 non-refundable deposits on. We literally have 2 years worth of built-in profitability, even though we're already in revenue with our on-the-road models that we've been selling for 2 years that we have patented and manufactured. So I welcome anyone to take a stronger look at all our models that are out or coming out soon, because they're highly anticipated. Okay, next slide, if you would. There you go. So we've got over 3,500 vehicles sold. I'm going to concentrate, even though we have 30 companies in healthcare, communications, transportation like this, whether ESG mandated. This is just one of our blue chip, I'd say, companies that we're very proud of. We started this car company 11 years ago from scratch, and now it's accepted at 170 dealerships around the world and growing. But you can see here, 3,500 vehicles sold in the last 2 years. We're 60 to 80 million in revenue. Only us and Tesla, by the way, are the only two EV companies that are in revenue, and we're pretty proud of that. So EBITDA positive, as you can see, state-of-the-art manufacturing in Provo, Utah. We actually have over 1.2 million in manufacturing space, with over 500 employees and 250 full-time engineers working on this project, this company, as well as some of our other verticals that we cover in different areas. The Brawley delivers are already starting to be delivered just now. We're pretty excited about that. Like I say, we have many dealerships in New York, Florida, Las Vegas, California, Colorado, and certainly places like Stuttgart, Germany, Dubai. People like the Crown Prince of Dubai own one. Shaquille O'Neal owns two. Jay Leno owns two. We've been featured on his garage twice. They're extremely popular and well received by car aficionados around the world, and the demand is unbelievable. We have a very built-in supply chain through batteries. We have one of the longest battery lives at over 340 miles per battery with Panasonic. General Motors is our engine partner. We have over 1,200 patents on the engine process alone. In fact, many of our light trucks, these are our, as you can see down here at the right, these are our 3 models here. There's the electric Brawley. There's the electric side-by-side that we're working with too for industrial. The Carmel, that's the street model, and then the electric Metropolitan, which is going to be used for inner city and high density areas. Very, very popular. Like I say, all of these models have incredible characteristics. We're 25 to 30% in profitability. You can put that up against GM, Ford, Tesla, anybody. We can build these cars. We own all the patents on the chassis, the engine design, the outer layers, the transmission. It could keep going, but it's quite a feat in 11 years what this has been able to accomplish. Okay, I guess we can go to the next slide here. Jimmy, this is just a little bit more about the Brawley, which is Harley Davidson is a distribution partner. We're the only brand, our on-the-road vehicles currently and our future vehicles that are just coming out now for off-road and inner city and on-road, are the only vehicles allowed that Harley Davidson will allow to be sold out of their dealerships around the world. Some of our dealerships are standalone, the Harley Davidson, some of them, but this is the only one. They're very protective of their brand, but shows you the high quality and the high demand of our on the road and off the road vehicles. 4 seconds, 0 to 60 in 4 seconds. I think Jimmy experienced that himself with our current on the road models. Just tremendous vehicles. Polaris, all these others. One of the best things that I like is that they're all very affordable, from $32,000 to $52,000 in price. So this is a very scalable, whether it be the current models that have been selling for 2 years or our future models, very affordable. Once again, we don't compete with the Rivians, the Teslas, all of this stuff that, whether in revenue or not. So we're really in a fortunate spot in another underserved area of clean air, clean water, profitability, and underserved area of on-road and off-road sports vehicles, and also industrial vehicles, whether it be for campuses, inner city driving, that type of thing. And then we can get into other things too, that we're developing right now for inboard, outboard motors and jet skis, snowmobiles, things like that, all electric, of course. Next slide, if you would, Maestro. There we go. Array of use for Vanderhall side-by-sides. Some are sports, some are industrial, heavy lifting, that type of thing. Of course, police and fire and all of that stuff. Once again, a tremendous on-road and off-road capabilities, as well as handling and torque to go along. One of the things that amazed me is 40% of our current sales of our on-road vehicles are to women. So we've been able to really cross that path from motorcycles to other sport vehicles, dune buggies, things where women absolutely love the way they handle the acceleration. I could go on, but that always was a big plus. Anyway, so next slide there, Jimmy. Large and grow light mobility. Once again, we own 1,200 patents. Even General Motors, our engine partner, is utilizing some of our patents for their light EV vehicle trucks and stuff. We have our own patent office on our 200-acre campus in Provo, Utah, our own 3D printing on top of this incredible manufacturing space, and also this development space with our 250 full-time engineers and scientists. It's quite a 70-year-old accomplishment, and certainly a milestone in operating companies, whether you're talking about we happen to be in an opportunity zone. So some of our offerings that I can cover with any of the audience that's interested based on your needs and what you're trying to accomplish with your portfolio, whether it's 50-50 with some of our investors who come in that have an opportunity zone consideration or tax consideration and the other 50%, whether institutional or high net worths, are just looking because these are highly investable companies such as Vanderhall with a very short path to liquidity. We'll get into that in a minute. Microcar, you can see this, what the market is going. By the way, this deck will be available to anybody who wants to reach out to me or my partner, Brett Wilkie, or any other that we can offer to people. Large and growing light mobility market, as you can see here, what we're doing here with our current cruisers and the side-by-side along with the Brawley, the microcar. We've got orders coming out of the yin yang, and from not only industrial usages, but also sport usages and also government usages. So we can get into that on a later time. Okay, 60.2 billion is the light mobility and growing like crazy, as you can imagine, with the efficiency of the torque, the electricity, all of the different areas, of course, the mandates that are coming through for both inner city and out in certain rural areas for, cleaner air, cleaner water, and to reach certain standards. So these vehicles are right on time. Next slide, if you would, Jimmy. Growing market for off-road vehicles, zero emissions, better performance, ESG focused. Most of the stuff that I've kind of covered here, EVs are quieter than gas powered. A lot of people that are looking for an outdoor experience, even in things like snowmobiles and things like that, it's really a huge growing market, and jet skis, things like that, that are looking for a much cleaner, quieter and cleaner experience. Less energy enabling, better economics, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, it kind of speaks for itself here. You can see the Polaris, which we've kept at bay. They've tried to put investments with us that we've turned down. There's a lot of other things that wish they had our, patentability and our certain menu and formula to build these vehicles so efficiently and such performance with such profitability. And that's why, in this 2-year period, we're already so profitable with a tremendous demand and 2 years of future profitability already built in. So we're pretty excited about that. Next slide, if you would. We're getting out there. Broader light mobility EV market remains largely untapped by incumbents, which is incredibly true. Once again, everybody's going after the high end on the road models and Livians, the Rivians, the Teslas, that type of thing. This is also an incredible wide open market that's underserved. And certainly we're already considered the gold standard in current models for not only light mobility, but also for on the road vehicles too, for performance, for gas and EV consideration. Margins, somebody just plugged in there, like I think I stated there, it's 25% plus on the margins on our current models. And the margins on our EVs will be equal to that or greater. All of our EV models, which everything now is EVs that we're turning out, whether it be on the road, off the road. Next slide, if you would. There we go. So Vanderhall technology is built for electric. Here's a good shot of what Jimmy experienced in person. And certainly I marvel at not only the manufacturing space, but also the incredible connectivity. You can see here the cost advantage of what we produce and own patents on. In fact, our family office, the Hall family, invented the man-made diamond back in 1956, patented that and licensed it and sold it 5 times. It's still used in drilling and water reclamation, as well as oil and other facets around the world today. So we know how to patent early and often, which is at my 30-year experience as a private equity veteran and head of business development here at the Hall Venture Partners. I look for first, strong enforceable patents and intangible, reinforceable technology. So you can see here, environmentally safe and conscious, classic timeless design, premium materials, vertical integration of electrification, cost advantage, our powertrain, which we own and develop, batteries. Once again, we have over a 2-year stock. We've been fortunate with Panasonic as our battery partner. Our control system, our chassis, our body and cabin, which we own all the molds, and we can go quickly and profitably from one vehicle like a Brawley into a metro vehicle or an industrial use light truck, light vehicle. No one else in the industry has these kinds of advantages, and that's why General Motors, Harley Davidson, many companies have chosen to partner up with us in different ways. So we're pretty excited about the future. Anyway, you can learn more and certainly be glad to take that on a case-by-case basis. I think we've covered this, the 60.2 billion light mobility market. It's growing like a weed. We've already sold over 3,500 vehicles, proprietary electrification technology, battery system, powertrain, molds on the outside. That's why we can switch from so many different, from the four-seater, four-wheel Brawley to the other useful vehicles in mobility and intercity transportation, that type of thing. Strong profitability and growth, 46% growth rate from 2018 to 2021, positive EBITDA margin in 2021 with higher growth rate projected 2022, which we're already hitting and pretty excited about. There's our disclaimer. I'll stay here just for a minute. There's my partner, Brett Wilkie, a managing director and head of VP of finance at Hall Labs. I'm Will Walker, head of business development at Hall Venture Partners, but I also work with Hall Labs. So please take down my information and request a deck. We also have a very robust data room. So if you decide you want to go further and really dig in, love to have you do that and sign an NDA, which we'd be glad to get out to either Brett or myself and allow access to that. Excuse me. Our 200-acre campus, as I said, is in a opportunity zone. There are very limited opportunity zone companies left to either direct or take advantage of. In our venture fund, it's basically closed. I didn't cover some of the other companies that are in the venture fund. So we can take that on a case-by-case basis along with the Vanderhall opportunity. But again, I guess I'm about out of time, Jimmy, and I want to thank you and Andy again for having me. And I know you're a big fan, and we're excited about the future with all of our different companies and looking forward to educating more people, whether about OZ projects or out of OZ projects in alternative ESG, profitable, recession-proof investments.
Fantastic. That was awesome, Will.